Hello and welcome to the next lecture. Okay, so we've drew out our arms, we got our legs, we got our torso, we got the head. Now the last part is going to be the hands, and we're going to put that in a switch layer. But first I was looking at the left arm layer, and I thought that it would be best if we actually had that arm above the head. Just looks better that way. So let's go ahead and let's start on the hand. I'm going to go to the left arm first, and I'm going to create what's called the switch layer. So when you go to this icon, go down to switch, and it creates your switch layer. And we're going to go ahead and name this hand left. So just like the group folders, this also has a folder, and it'll hold a group of vector layers as well. So what we're going to put into this vector switch layer group is different hand shapes. And I'll show you how the switch layers for the hands work. So let's do, we'll just call it open. We'll go and we'll make another one, and we'll call this closed. Okay, so these are the two examples that we'll use for the hands. So let's go ahead and click and drag both the open and closed hand. And let's go ahead and drag it into the hand left switch layer. And let's go ahead, right click on this group and select open. What that does, as you see, this is not highlighted anymore, and this one is now active. When I click close, this one is now active, this one is not highlighted anymore. And basically what a switch layer does is those two layers, once we have the hand drawn out, so when I have an open hand and I have that one layer highlighted, it's going to have that open hand animated on the timeline when you get into the animation portion. When I go and I right click and I push open or closed, or however you have it, it'll just be that hand that will be animated at that point in time. And switch layers can be used for mouths, for different mouth shapes. They can be used for hands. They can even be used for blinking, for eyes being open and closed. So they come in handy a lot. So let's go ahead and let's go to our open vector layer, make sure it's selected there. And let's go to the add point tool. And let's go ahead and start drawing out our hand. If you need to use the other for a reference, you can. I won't in this case because I actually put the arm a little bit higher than this drawing there. And he's actually kind of missing a thumb. I kind of wanted our character to have a thumb. So I'm going to hit Control U again just to take that off. And let's go ahead and start drawing out some lines here to get a hand shape going. Okay, so just slowly I'm just going through and I'm just making some sort of hand shape for our monster character. All right, I'm just gonna go to this side and continue. Notice where I'm putting the points. I'm putting the points at where you would have joints. I think they're joints on your fingers. So anywhere that there's a bend on your finger, that's where I would put a point, or recommend putting a point, because it'll make it that much easier when you go to rig your character with bones, rig the hand with bones. Let's go ahead and we're going to put the hand above the arm. As you can see here, it resulted back to its default because I closed Anime Studio earlier. So let's go ahead and let's go to the open, hit Q on our keyboard, let's select the whole entire shape. And I'm going to select the eyedropper tool and just select the color there, and that'll bring us back the stroke and the color originally. Let's go back to the hand and let's start curving out some points. So with the selection tool and the curvature tool, just pick the points that you want to start fixing, and just go ahead and get started on fixing your curves. Okay. I might work on the hand a little bit more. I'm just looking at it now and I don't really like how it looks. For one, it's really big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control A. I'm going to select all the points, and we're just going to shrink that down. Holding Shift, I'm just going to shrink that down just a little bit to keep it in proportion with everything. That's a little bit better. Let's go through. I'm going to make his thumb just a little bit longer, so it looks more like a thumb. Okay, shrink down this portion here. Okay, that looks pretty good. I don't remember how I originally had this character. The very first original character that I drew of this, as far as his hand shape. Okay, that's fine. We'll just give him little itty bitty claw type hands. Okay, let's hit H on the keyboard. And that's going to select the hide edge tool. Let's go ahead and hide our edges or hide our strokes here in this hand layer. So with the H, the hide edge tool selected, just go ahead and go back through. Make sure that looks good. And that looks okay. There's little strokes there that are showing, but that's totally fine. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to Control C. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go to the close. I'm going to hit Control V. Now the reason why I did this is so I can keep the hand proportion when I go to draw the closed hand shape. So now I'm going to go to the selection. So if I were to render this right now, even though I'm on the closed layer, anything that is selected on the switch layer itself, when you go to render, it's going to show only that shape. So technically, because I'm on the closed shape, I should go and I should click and hit the check mark so that it selects the closed shape as well. So when I go to render it, technically he wouldn't have a hand if there was nothing on that. But because we copied and pasted the closed shape, so I'll just move the hand there, it will also show that the hand was moved. And rather than using this hand shape and trying to make a closed hand out of it, I'm just going to move it out of the way. And I'm just going to use this for a reference to draw my closed hand. Okay. And we're going to have to go and we're going to have to fix a few things. Just make sure the points are kind of in the same spots. Just make sure it looks like as if he closed his hand, what his hand would look like compared to this. So when you go and you cycle through the open and the close, that looks pretty good. Maybe shrink down his knuckles just a little bit more. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of hand shape I want to give it when he has his hand closed. So these are things that would probably be best if you struggle drawing in Anime Studio. These would be the things that would be best to draw ahead of time. But because I can mostly figure out what I want to do in Anime Studio, I just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the hide edge tool. Just hide the edges. I'm just going to bring a point out just a little bit further there. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this and I'm just going to delete that because I don't need that anymore. I just use that as a reference. Open hand, closed hand. Open. I do actually want to do a little bit of detail here on the hand. Because actually, if you look at the hand, his hand should actually be closing at an angle. So you should be able to see his pointer finger as he's closing his hand there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to the closed layer vector and I'm going to hit this icon. This is delete shape. And this is just going to take out the color. And I'm going to work on making his fingers. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Just want to make it look like his fingers are at more of an angle. Therefore, this would be closed off a little bit more. Okay, let's go back and let's go to our create shape tool. Select everything. Select the, well, let's go ahead and do this first. We'll go ahead and just select everything, make the shape, and then we'll go with our selection tool, or with our create shape tool, and we'll just do the strokes. So stroke there and the stroke there. And it should be putting everything at a stroke width of 2. If not, you can just adjust that by selecting the whole entire shape and adjusting the stroke. So I'm just going to go through now and I'm going to just adjust the line width of everything. Okay, and that looks all right. There's still a little bit of sharp corners in some areas. And I'll just bring down the width of that. All right. And let's see how that looks. So it gave it a little bit more of an angle. Cool. That looks pretty good. Okay. And we're going to be using the same hand shapes, but it won't be the same hand angle for his other hand, as you can see, because his hand is facing the camera now, and this is the back of his hand. But what we'll do is we'll be using both of those shapes for, I'll show you what I mean in the next lecture, but we'll be using all of the hand shapes in the different switch layers. So I will go ahead and wrap this up here, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this tutorial series, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'll have new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Also, if you want to help support the channel, I have the link to all the full paid courses down in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.